So today, lads, we're going to be talking about 5 potential options as a backup point guard for Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Before we do get on to that, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're 16 subscribers off 58.2k, and we're trying to hit that by the end of the day. But anyway, we're going to be going over a bunch of these players. We are going to be looking at why I've chose certain players over other players, what type of players that I've gone for, and the pros and cons of each of them. So we're looking at 5 right here. The first player is a backup point guard taken with the 10th overall pick. I have not put Kiki Rice on this list because I think she'll be taken. I have not put Raven Johnson on this list because it's clear she probably does not want to play with Caitlin Clark. It is, for lack of a better word, like she is in perpetual victim mode after getting waved off in 2023. So I do not think she wants to be on a team with Caitlin Clark. So, first of all, with the number 10 pick, Iyana Martin. Pros. Dynamic guard. Absolutely dynamic point guard. Is able to see the floor at an elite rate. Is able to get to the basket. Can shoot the ball. Is a dog on defense. I'm not going to say the best defender, but she's a pest. And a lefty. So a little bit crafty. A very good pick and roll ball handler. And somebody who is elite downhill. Cons. I don't know if you want a downhill point guard with Caitlin Clark. The reason is that if you have Caitlin playing off the ball, you still want her to get the ball. And normally with those type of players, you want point guards to pass the ball left to right. You do not want downhill point guards because a lot of the time downhill point guards work the ball into bigs. She will be a very effective backup point guard with Aaliyah Boston on the floor, running the pick and roll, and will not do it at quite the Caitlin Clark rate, but will probably be the best pick and roll navigator of any potential backup point guard. However, I don't know about how her minutes will be set with Caitlin Clark. If maybe she will have the ability to run the point guard position with Kelsey Mitchell on the floor and run the point guard position and run the 2 guard position with Caitlin Clark because she does shoot the ball quite well. There is a possibility for that, but another con is that you lose the 10th pick on her. It means you don't get a chance of taking a wing, which, by the way, if you're keeping Hull and you're keeping Sophie Cunningham, you do not need Gabriella Jaquez or Gianna Neepkins. You just don't. There's only so many wings you need. So, Iyana Martin is one of the options. Another option is Julie Vanloo. Julie Vanloo, negative. You will have to trade for her. Positives. She is somebody that clearly wants to be a backup to Caitlin Clark because her style meshes very, very well as an on-ball, off-ball player. She has played in the Belgium national team as a score-first player with Julie Allemond, who is a true point guard beside her, and she has excelled. She played, especially when she played with the Washington Mystics as in her rookie year. Let's look at her stats for her rookie season. In her rookie season for the Washington Mystics, she averaged 7.4 points, 4.3 assists, and decent enough considering the difficulty of shots she was shooting, not the worst 3-point percentage. She is a live wire scorer when she is allowed to shoot. We saw it in the first game of the year for the Valks. She was just letting it fly. It did not do much at all off the bench for the Sparks. A very solid backup point guard, a vet, has played at a high level, and is someone that can switch it on while being a pass-first point guard or being a flat-out scorer. I think when she's on with Caitlin, depending on what's needed, she can be an off-ball backup to Kelsey Mitchell and let it fly, or she can be that pass-first point guard whose job is to get it to Caitlin. She has that versatility to play both roles. Will she do either at the highest level? I don't think so. But of all these players, stylistically, she's one who can kind of do a bit of both, can give you some scoring, and can also get the ball to Caitlin. Another option, Aari McDonald. Aari McDonald, pros, was a member of the Fever last year. She did exceptionally well as a member of the Fever last year. Plays her ass off. A really good passer. Mostly a downhill passer. Mostly a downhill pick and roll player. Likes to run at speed. And she doesn't pass forward a lot. She doesn't pass laterally a lot. She is a downhill driver and a very, very good passer. Downsides. We have seen a complete inability to get any effectiveness out of her playing the one with Caitlin off the ball. Caitlin does not touch the ball. She stands in that damn corner. But we also have seen from the Atlanta Dream game that if Aari's playing the 2 with Caitlin at the 1, it can be effective. The big negative is the injuries. Aari McDonald has not been healthy in years. She has not had a fully healthy season since 2022. She played 24, 26, and 20 games last 3 seasons and got injured in the first game of Unrivaled for the entirety of Unrivaled. She has been one of the most injury-prone players in the league. And for that reason, I probably wouldn't be high on Aari McDonald, purely because of injury. Nothing to do with Aari. I think she's fantastic. I think she could go to a weaker team and be a starting point guard. The problem is that, like, I don't know how well first of all, she fits at her best with Caitlin Clark. And secondly, I don't know how well Caitlin Clark and her play together. So, and how many games she's going to last. Like, if she goes down, she's the only backup point guard, because I have a weird feeling they're going to just give a roster spot to Sid Colson. Like, if she goes down, you're fucked. Like, you're probably then looking at a 2nd or 3rd round pick coming in as the backup point guard as a developmental slot, because there's not going to be any hardships in this. So if Aari gets injured and they give Colson a pity spot, like, they're fucked. Next, we've got Odyssey Sims. Odyssey Sims, I have to mention Odyssey Sims because everyone wants to, will say, what about Odyssey? No. Odyssey Sims is not a bench player. I cannot stress that enough. She is not a bench player. She is somebody who has been a starter, at least in recent times, for a good while. When she played with the Sparks, they got rid of her. She was fantastic for Indiana this year. Don't get it twisted. She is fantastic. She really struggled as a bench player with Dallas in 2023. If you look at her stats as a bench player versus starter, she is a high volume starter. She is pros. She is by far the best of all these players. Pros, if Caitlin Clark gets injured, she can come in and run the show as a very solid starting point guard. Cons, she is not a role player. She doesn't do any of the little things. She's not a pass first player. She is a scoring point guard. She's an iffy shooter. She doesn't really play defense. She's undersized. She's old. And she'll be coming off the bench. If Caitlin Clark was to go down injured and there was a replacement, yes, you can get Odyssey. Odyssey Sims as a hardship starting point guard is actually a perfect role. But Odyssey Sims as a bench player, no. Just no. She is not an effective player in limited minutes. She is not effective in limited touches. She needs the ball a lot to be effective. As good as she is, I don't think the reason why she's been in and out of the league is that she's not quite good enough to be a ball-dominant player anymore, and she's bad at every other aspect of the game. It's why over the last 5 seasons, we have seen her be a very effective as a hardship starter, but we've seen her be terrible as anything else. When she's been on a roster the last 3 to 4 years, she's been bad. When she's been a hardship pick, she's been fantastic. That is what her role is. She is a hardship level starting point guard who can keep things ticking over to a real starting point guard who's back from injury. I don't think Odyssey Sims is a bad player at all. She's just not a backup. That is and I mean this in a way where it's like, I don't think, of all the players so far, I think she will be the least happy to play 10 minutes game. And she'll be the least effective in those 10 minutes. And last player is Mariona Ortiz, who is the starting point guard for the Spain national team. There is no talk about her coming over, but surely someone is going to be trying to push for her. She's 33 years old, but she is big. She plays defense and does all the little things. If you watched how Spain played, she played the 1. Her job is literally just, I'm going to get boards. I'm going to do every bit of little things. I'm going to just get the ball moving side to side. I'm going to pass the ball to the scorers. She's not going to stand out. Pros, obviously, will give the fucking ball to Caitlin. Like, when she's on the floor with Caitlin, she will make sure as hell Caitlin gets the ball. Cons, no real scoring ability. Like, there's no real scoring ability here in Mariona Ortiz. We can be honest here. She's not really a scorer. She's not going to give you more than 5 points a game at the WNBA level. But I don't know if the team needs a score. I don't know if the team needs more scoring. She's not going to be a spark plug. Maybe they have another spark plug too off the bench. She is going to be a solid contributor. She's going to get the ball past the halfway line. She's, other than the fucking Eurobasket final, is relatively secure with the ball. She is a do-it-all player. She does all the little things. There's no real, other than scoring, there's no real flaw in her game. But scoring matters. That is the big downside with Mariona Ortiz, is that you might be getting a very insignificant score. And especially, you can get away with not being a scorer if you do everything else well. At Europe, with the pace of the game, at the WNBA level, just like the NBA level, sometimes that's not enough. But I do feel like she could be a really effective player. Who do I think is going to be the backup point guard for Caitlin Clark? My guess is it's going to be Aari, and I think if it's going to be a disaster. Not because of anything Aari does. I just think she's going to get injured, and then they're fucked. There is no precedence for in the last 4 seasons for Aari McDonald being healthy, and she's currently injured. Who do I want it to be? I wouldn't mind them taking Iyana Martin at 10. I think she is the highest upside pick. I don't know about her fit with Caitlin Clark, but I think she's a high enough IQ player. And I'm saying, oh, she's not that great, but it's like, she literally won an MVP at the FIBA U19 World Cup over Joyce Edwards, Chloe Kitts, Hannah Hidalgo. I think Blake's might have been, no. Who was on that team? Where is it? 2023 Basketball World Cup. Like, she won MVP. We cannot forget this. She won MVP. They only lost the USA by 3 in the final. And she was the MVP over Hannah Hidalgo, Kiki Rice. What is it? Cody McMahon, Chloe Kitts, Vanloo, and Joyce Edwards. And if you look at years born, Hannah Hidalgo is... I mean, what age is Hannah Hidalgo? So Hannah Hidalgo is born in 2005. In fairness, she's only a year older. Hidalgo's still a year older. But still, she's out here winning MVP while a year younger than Hannah Hidalgo. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. That is the video. I wouldn't mind seeing that, but it'll be interesting to see who the backup point guard is. To be fair, no one expected Colson, so it could be anyone random this year. Anyway, I'll see you guys.